Hey, welcome back to hosting.com labs. And this month we're all about WordPress. So a quick bit of context before we get into it. WordPress turns 23 this month. That's 23 years of powering blogs, businesses, portfolios, shops, news sites, and a huge chunk of the internet as we know it. Over 40% of the websites you visit run on it. And that's not nothing. And in those 23 years, a lot has changed. The blocks editor, full site editing, performance improvements, security tooling, a plugin ecosystem with tens of thousands of options. WordPress has grown up. But here's the thing. The mistakes people make setting it up, those haven't changed much at all. I'm Cory, and today we're here doing something a little bit different. Instead of going deep on one topic, we're going to do a proper WordPress 101. The three areas that make the biggest difference to how your site performs, stays safe, and doesn't quietly fall over when you're not looking. Plugins, speed, and security. By the end of this video, you'll have a checklist you can act on. So let's get into it. Plugins are one of the best things about WordPress and one of the most misunderstood. The idea is simple. Plugins add functionality to your site without you needing to write any code. Want a contact form? There's a plugin for that. Want better SEO tools? There's a plugin for that. Want to turn your site into a full online shop? There's a plugin for that too. The problem isn't plugins. The problem is how most people use them. Now let's talk about the plugin stacking problem. Most WordPress sites pick up plugins far too easily. A new requirement comes in, you search, you install, you move on. And 6 months later, you've got 30 plugins running on the site that only needs about 8. Here's why that matters. Every active plugin adds code that needs to run every time someone loads your site. Some plugins are light and well optimized, others aren't. And some will conflict with each other in ways that are really hard to diagnose. More plugins also means more surface area for security vulnerabilities and more things to keep updated. This isn't a comprehensive list because every site is different, but here's what most sites should have. A caching plugin. That's probably the single most impactful plugin you can install. More on that in the speed section, but if you're hosting on hosting.com, Lightspeed Cache is available and it's excellent. An SEO plugin. Yoast and Rank Math and All-in-One SEO are some of the most popular SEO plugins in WordPress. Pick one, not both. Security plugin. WordFence is the go-to for most users. It adds a firewall, scans for malware, and alerts you to suspicious logins. A backup plugin. Updraft Plus is reliable and well-maintained. More on backups in the security section. A forms plugin. If you need contact forms, which most every site should have a contact form, WP Forms Lite or Gravity Forms, depending on your complexity, don't install a full page builder just to get a form. And that's generally most of what a standard site needs. Everything else should earn its place. Your site has slowed down noticeably after a recent install. Start there. Deactivate the most recent plugin and see if speed improves. You're getting PHP errors or white screen issues? This almost always points to a plugin conflict. Deactivate all the plugins, then reactivate them one by one until the error comes back. That's your culprit. You have multiple plugins doing the same job. 2 SEO plugins like we talked about earlier, 2 caching plugins, 2 form builder plugins. Pick one from each and remove the other. You have plugins that haven't been updated in over a year. This is a security risk. Check when each plugin was last updated in your dashboard. If it's been abandoned by its developer, find an alternative. Before you install any plugin, ask yourself, is there a simpler way to do this that doesn't require another plugin? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes a theme already includes the functionality you're looking for. Sometimes a small piece of code in your functions.php file would do it in 10 lines. If you do need the plugin, check the ratings, check the update history, and check that it's compatible with your current version of WordPress before you install it. Site speed is one of those things people know matters, but often treat as someone else's problem. It's not. A slow site costs you in every direction. Visitors leave, search rankings drop, conversion rates suffer. And unlike most website problems, speed issues compound over time as your site grows. The good news, most of the common speed problems are fixable without touching a single line of code. WordPress is a dynamic CMS, content management system, which means every time someone visits your site, the server builds the page from scratch. It pulls content from the database, runs it through PHP, applies your theme and plugins, and sends the result to the browser. That takes time in that process. And the more complex your site, the more time it adds. The main culprits are usually too many plugins adding weight to each page load. Images that haven't been optimized, no caching in place, so the server has to rebuild every page every time. A hosting plan that doesn't have enough resources for your traffic, or slow or unoptimized database queries. The quick wins. Let's go through them in order of impact. Number 1, install a caching plugin. This is the highest impact you can do for a WordPress site speed, and it costs nothing. A caching plugin stores a pre-built version of your pages so the server doesn't have to rebuild them from scratch every single visit. For most sites, this alone can dramatically reduce load time. If you're on hosting.com, install Lightspeed Cache. It's free, it's well maintained, and it's built specifically for Lightspeed servers, which means it's more effective than generic caching plugins on our infrastructure. In your WordPress site, go to Plugins, Add New, search Lightspeed Cache, install and activate. Then go to the plugin settings and run the preload cache option to warm things up. Number 2, optimize your images. Images are almost always the biggest contributor to slow page load times, and it's one of the easiest things to fix. The rule is simple. Don't upload images larger than they need to be. If an image is displaying at 800 pixels wide on your site, there's no reason to upload a 4,000 pixel wide version of it. Use a tool like Squish or Short Pixel to compress images before you upload them. If you have a site full of existing unoptimized images, a plugin like Imagify or Short Pixel can bulk optimize them for you. Also, serve images in modern formats where possible. WebP images are significantly smaller than JPEG or PNG with no visible quality difference. Lightspeed Cache can handle this conversion for you automatically. Number 3, keep your database clean. Over time, WordPress databases fill up with things you don't need. Post revisions, spam comments, transient data, leftover records from deleted plugins. None of this is useful, and it slows down database queries. A plugin like WP Optimize will clean this up safely. Run it once a month and your database stays clean. Number 4, limit what loads on every page. Not every plugin needs to load on every page. Some plugins load their scripts and style sheets site-wide even when they're only needed on one page. This is called render blocking, and it's surprisingly common. Lightspeed Cache has a JavaScript deferral option that helps with this. If you want to go deeper, a plugin like Asset Cleanup lets you control exactly which scripts load on which pages. If you've done all of the above and your site is still slow, it might be that your hosting plan simply doesn't have enough resources for traffic you're getting. This isn't failure. It's a good sign. It means your site is growing. Moving from shared hosting to a managed WordPress plan or a VPS even gives you dedicated resources that aren't shared with other sites, and the performance difference is significant. WordPress powers over 40% of the internet, which makes it the biggest target for automated attacks. And that's not a reason to panic. WordPress has amazing contributors, people watching these things, submitting patches, but it is a reason to take the basics seriously. Most successful attacks on WordPress sites aren't sophisticated. They're just opportunistic. Bots scanning for outdated plugins, weak passwords, or known vulnerabilities. The good news is that basic security hygiene stops the vast majority of them. This sounds obvious, but it's the number one thing that leaves WordPress sites exposed. WordPress core, your theme, and every plugin you have installed release updates for a reason. Significant number of those updates are security patches. Running an outdated plugin is like leaving a window open in your house. The vulnerability is known, it's published, and bots are actively looking for it. Turn on automatic updates for minor WordPress releases. For plugins, either set automatic updates or build a habit of checking your dashboard weekly. If you're using a managed WordPress plan, your host may handle some of this for you. Your WordPress admin login is the most valuable door on your site. Strong password helps, but two-factor authentication is the lock and the chain. 2FA means that even if someone has your password, they still can't get in without the second factor, usually a code from an app on your phone. A plugin called WP2FA makes this straightforward to set up. Install it, activate it, follow the setup wizard, and connect it to an authenticator app like Google Authenticator or Authy. Takes about 5 minutes, and it's one of the most effective things you can do. Bots don't just attack your login page, they fill out contact forms, leave spam comments, and create fake accounts. A CAPTCHA solution filters out automatic traffic before it becomes a problem. Cloudflare Turnstile is a solid free option and much less annoying to real users than older CAPTCHA methods. It integrates with most popular forum plugins, and there's a WordPress plugin that adds it to your login page too. WordFence is the standard recommendation here. It adds a web application firewall that blocks malicious traffic before it reaches your site, scans your files for malware, and alerts you when something looks wrong. The free version is more than enough for most sites. Install it, run the setup wizard, and let it do its job. Check the alerts it sends you and act on anything flagged as high priority. Backups are not a security feature until they are. If your site gets compromised, a clean recent backup is the difference between a bad afternoon and a catastrophe. Updraft Plus is the most widely used WordPress backup plugin. Set it to run automatically, daily for a busy site, weekly for a quieter one, and store the backups somewhere off-site. Google Drive, Dropbox, or an S3 bucket. Don't store your only backup on the same server as your site. That's so key. If you're a hosting.com managed WordPress hosting customer, automatic backups are included. Check your hosting panel to confirm the frequency and where they're stored. Change your default admin username. WordPress used to set the default admin username to admin, and a huge number of sites still use it. Bots know this and target it specifically. If your username is still admin, create a new user administrator account with a different username. Log in with a new account and delete the old one. It's a 5-minute fix that removes a known attack vector entirely. All right, let's bring it together. 23 years in, WordPress is the platform that runs most of the internet, and the reason it's lasted this long is exactly what makes it worth getting it right. It's flexible enough to be almost anything, and that means the setup decisions you make early really do matter. So here's your actual checklist from today. Plugins. Audit what you've got, remove anything that doesn't have a clear job, and check that everything is actively maintained and up to date. Speed. Get caching in place, optimize your images, keep your database clean, and upgrade your hosting plan if your traffic has outgrown it. Security. Update everything. Turn on 2FA, add CAPTCHA for your forms and logins, install a security plugin, and back up regularly somewhere offsite. None of this is complicated, but it's the difference between a WordPress site that quietly grows and one that quietly causes you problems. If you're on a hosting.com and want help with any of this, our support team is available 24/7, and there's a full step-by-step knowledge base at kb.hosting.com covering everything we talked about today. We'll link the relevant guides in the description below. Thanks for watching Hosting.com Labs. If this saved you from a future headache, share it with someone who's still running 47 plugins, hoping for the best. See you in the next one.